Hi again folks, how you doing? Following on from doing the CD motor conversion of my Class 33 by Class 55 Lima diesels, I've now fitted my Class 156 DMU here with a CD motor, and that was using one of the kits that I was given by diesel-trains.co.uk. I didn't bother videoing fitting the motor for this one because it's pretty much exactly the same as doing the Class 55. So there was no real point in repeating myself, but it's certainly running very nicely with the CD motor. So I'm now going to do my J50 here, and in the process I'm going to add extra pickups because I'm not too happy with the pickup configuration on this, and I also need to do something about the body because the screw's threaded and it's just loose. Right, okay, let's get this to the bench. Okay, so the kit for this one is a little bit different. What do you get? You get the motor and a couple of little clear plastic washers, and that's it. There's no voltage dropper, there's no extra wiring or insulating tubing. And the motor is effectively glued into this plate, so it's not like a 3D printed casing that the motor is just sort of shoved into. So this should be fairly straightforward, but as I say, I do want to add some extra pickups to this, and we need to sort this body. It does go on with quite a long screw, and it's just the hole in the body there is just got stripped. So I think probably the easiest solution to that is just to pop some super glue gel down in there, let it set, and then the screw will effectively self-tap when you screw it back into the set super glue. That's the theory. So let's have a look at this motor. We'll take this great big weight off. Get that out the road. Okay, so replacing the motor in this should be relatively straightforward. Adding the extra pickups will be a bit trickier. It's an unusual configuration, this locomotive. The middle wheels are connected to a pickup in here, and it almost acts like a spring. And the wheels aren't connected to the rods. Don't know if you can see that there. So they're allowed to go up and down and move about independently from everything else, which is actually quite clever because it means that these wheels are always in contact with the track, and that's one of the problems when you've got that 040 type wheel configuration. Any movement at all can, interrupt the circuit. So having these wheels sprung so they're pushed down on the track all the time is one of the reasons this doesn't suffer too badly from connection problems, but occasionally it still does. So I'm going to fit a guitar string pickup on either side to the rear wheel and connect it up there and there, and that should solve that problem. But we'll do the motor first. So just as with the diesels, peeling, off that one goes. Springs and brushing. Oh, spring there not coming out. That's got one of the brushes. It's a Sunday afternoon, at this time of year on a Sunday afternoon, the lawnmowers come out, and that's all you hear all afternoon. Right, let's peel this off. So as it was, this J50 was running okay. No real problem really, but like the diesels, it wasn't pulling away very smoothly. So I'm hoping that the CD motor will fix that problem. Right, okay, this is nice and easy to get out, I think. Like that. Be very careful not to melt plastic. I don't like using soldering irons so close to plastic. So I'm just seeing how this motor fits in, but I'm going to have to drop this back wheel. Right, lift that off, and then I can just lift that out of the way. That left all the wheels out of the way. Right, that's going to make things a lot easier. Now, let's just trial fit this. Okay, there's a little plastic thing here that seems to be preventing this fitting. That side will fit okay, but it's not sitting flush because of that little plastic protrusion there. Yeah, I think we're probably just going to have to cut that off. I'm not sure what purpose it actually serves. Right. Will this fit now? Yeah, that's just going to fit. Okay, I'm assuming these little plastic washers are just to go between the screw and the mounting plate. So that's what we'll do. Before I fit this, I'm going to grease up this pinion gear, which I forgot to do on the Class 55 and the 156. So I would much rather use a little bit of grease on this than oil, for reasons that I will talk about one day. Right, okay, put those wires through there. And that should now, looks like that's engaged. Get these little washers out. There's nothing in any instructions about what these are for, but I can only assume that this is what they're for. Just put one there like that. Okay, that all looks fine. So what we shall do, we shall put this back together. Okay, so essentially that is the motor mounted. Okay, I'm just popping this onto a test track, and it's just to figure out which wire connects to which pickup. So I'm guessing that the pickups on this side are the ones that connect directly to the wheels. So I'm guessing the red wire will connect to that, and this blue wire will connect to the other side. So if I'm right, the locomotive will go this way. So let's touch the two together. Yep, that's fine. Okay, so the red wire goes this side and blue that side. Now, I think I can keep the wires quite tidy here if I feed that wire down back over there. Pull that through. And I can do the same with the blue wire. So that's good, to be able to keep the wires nice and tidy. So we shall solder them up once we've got the extra pickups fitted on. But before I do that, I'm going to sort this threaded screw hole. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to dump some super glue gel down in that hole. And then pin, just scrape off the excess there. And then we're going to do the baking soda trick, because this is a good example of when this actually works. And just put some baking soda on that hole. And what that's done is it's filled the hole in essentially, but what I'll do is just drill a little hole to allow this to self-tap back in, and that should hopefully solve that problem. I'm going to add pickups to this, and what I'm going to do is going to use some guitar string, and I'm going to drill a little hole in this post here and make a little guitar string pickup to be in contact with this wheel, and do the same on this side. And then I can just solder a wire from the end of the guitar pickup to each of those points, each of those pickups there. That's the theory, that's the plan. Okay, so just very gently. check that that will screw in. Being it's just a plastic hole, it should self-tap, which it is doing. It's fine on that side. And where's my other little M2 screw? I did have another one. Now I want to make the pickup out of a bit of guitar string, and it just wants to rest on top of the wheel and go round the screw. So what I'll do is I'll cut it about that long. Where's my snippers? Where's my snippers? Alright, so I reckon if we cut it about there, and we need to make a little loop about there. Guitar string is made of high tensile steel, so it bends, but it's bloody strong stuff. It's very difficult to show you this, but basically I've looped a piece of guitar string round the little M2 screw, which has just come off again. Let's get it on. And then we should be able to screw that into place, if I can get a hold of it. It's all a bit fiddly. There we go. And then it's a case of getting this guitar string to rest on top of the wheel. So I'll have to be bent out a wee bit first of all. Bend it out the way and then in the way. Okay, it's a bit of a fiddle, but basically I've screwed in this little bit of guitar string, which is now resting on top of this wheel, and I've got a little bit here poking out that I can solder a wire to, that I can then connect up to the pickup there, along with this blue wire, which will also get cut and soldered in. And I'll do the same on this side. Okay, and there's the pickup on the other side, which I've actually looped down underneath this screw. I don't want it touching this screw, so it goes down and up and rests on the top of the wheel. Twist those wires together. Yeah, that's soldered. Okay, so I've got my little guitar string pickup, which is screwed to the chassis there, and then there's a wire soldered to the pickup going to the pickup for these wheels there. And same on the other side. So now all 6 wheels are conductive and sending a current to the motor. So that should have no problems going over diamond crossings or complex point configurations. Righty-ho, I think that's just about us, but let's see how my superglued screw hole is doing. Right, okay, so with the body fitted, I'm hoping this screw will self-tap. Hoping. And it is, I think. There we go. Okay, so I just want to test this on the test track again. Let's just making a wee bit of a weird noise. I wonder why it would be doing that. Why is it making a bit of an odd noise? I didn't like the noise that was making. Now, one thing I have discovered with these CD motors is that they're quite sensitive to how they're set into the motor casing. So I've screwed this one in flat, but I'm going to back off these screws a bit, because certainly on my 156, which I did in video, and to some extent on the 55 it did make a difference. Just backing off, it did make it run an awful lot better. How much is the body amplifying that noise? Okay, so I kind of thought this wasn't backing off enough. I think the motor was going too far in, and the pinion gear has been hitting the bearing here. So what I did was I took the little plastic washers off and put them on this side. I think they're acting as spacers between the plate and the motor casing, and I think this is going to sound a bit better now. Let's just try and that sounds better. That sounds a lot better. Yeah, I think that's what it was. I had those little washers on the wrong side of the plate. Right, screw this back on. Not too tight. Okay, now let's go and try it. Okay, I'm full of confidence. Let's turn the power on. That's heaps better. See how it goes over the down crossing? No problem. So there we go, that's my little Lima Class J50 running with a CD motor and a couple of extra pickups. The CD motor, it's a little bit quieter, but not significantly, but it's certainly a bit smoother running forward and a little bit smoother in pulling away. And the extra pickups have certainly made a difference going over consecutive points and crossings and stuff. So yeah, all in all, another result. That's the last of the CD conversion kits from diesel-trains.co.uk. So again, a very big thank you to Richard, and check his website out. The links will be in the description. Right, okay, what's next? Right, catch you later, folks.